Picture this. A judge sits in a solemn courtroom about to decide the fate of someone standing before them. The weight of the decision hangs heavy in the air, a life potentially altered by the words they are about to speak. But before making this critical decision, before the gavel falls, an unusual event unfolds. Someone steps forward and rolls a pair of dice. A seemingly random act in the face of serious justice. The number that appears is surprisingly high. A large, imposing figure staring back at everyone in the room. Now consider this. Studies have revealed a startling connection. Judges who are exposed to a high number from the dice, regardless of its relevance to the case, tend to hand down significantly longer sentences. Conversely, those judges who witness a low number on the dice are more inclined to deliver shorter, more lenient sentences. A subtle shift in perception leading to a tangible difference in outcome. This isn't a scene from a fictional drama. It's a documented real-world example of a powerful, often unseen force, subtly shaping our decisions, influencing our judgments, and impacting our lives in ways we rarely recognize. This force is known as the anchoring bias. The first piece of information you encounter, the initial data point you receive, acts like a mental anchor, subtly but powerfully pulling your mind in its direction, influencing your subsequent thoughts and actions. And here's the kicker, even if the number is completely random, utterly irrelevant to the situation at hand, its power lies simply in being first, in establishing the initial frame of reference. Anchoring bias subtly influences what you buy, from everyday purchases to major investments, how much you earn, affecting salary negotiations and career advancement, and the choices you make, shaping your path in both subtle and significant ways. Think back to the last time you were in the market for a new phone, or consider the last time you negotiated a salary for a new job. Did the first number you heard, the initial price quoted, or the starting salary offered, subtly set the tone for the entire negotiation? Understanding this bias, recognizing its influence, is like learning the secret language of your own mind, unlocking a deeper understanding of how you think and make decisions. Spotting these mental anchors, identifying the initial pieces of information that are shaping your perspective, gives you the power to make more informed, more rational, and ultimately better decisions. Over the course of this exploration, we'll delve into the science behind this pervasive bias, examining its impact on everything from global financial markets to the development of artificial intelligence. You'll begin to see how it subtly affects your daily life, influencing your choices and shaping your perceptions in ways you never imagined possible. We'll dissect famous psychological experiments that have illuminated the power of anchoring, analyze real-world situations where anchoring bias plays a significant role, and equip you with practical tools and strategies to help you break free from its subtle grip. So, are you ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery and uncover the secret anchors that are subtly influencing your life? The journey begins now, starting with a fundamental understanding of the anchoring bias itself, its mechanics, and its pervasive influence. Let's dive in, explore the depths of this cognitive bias, and learn how to take control of your decision-making processes. Your decisions, your choices, and ultimately your life are about to change for the better. Your brain is an incredibly complex organ, but at its core, it's designed to save energy. It's constantly looking for ways to be efficient, to make decisions quickly and with minimal effort. To achieve this efficiency, it uses shortcuts, cognitive biases like the anchoring bias. These biases are mental rules of thumb that help us make sense of the world, but they can also lead to systematic errors in judgment. When you face an unknown situation, a problem with no immediately obvious solution, your brain, in its quest for efficiency, often grabs the first number it sees, or the first piece of information it receives, and uses that as a starting point for its calculations. Even if that number is completely irrelevant to the actual problem at hand, even if it's pulled from thin air, it becomes your anchor, a fixed point around which your subsequent judgments and decisions revolve. To illustrate this, try this simple experiment. Take a moment to think of the last 2 digits of your phone number. Hold that number in your mind. Now, with that number still in your thoughts, guess how many countries there are in Africa. Take a shot. Chances are, even though the last 2 digits of your phone number have absolutely nothing to do with the number of countries in Africa, your guess will be subtly or perhaps even significantly influenced by those digits. This simple exercise vividly demonstrates how seemingly random and irrelevant information can insidiously anchor your judgment and skew your perception of reality. Anchoring happens largely unconsciously. You might feel like you're being perfectly rational and objective, but in reality, your mind is subtly but powerfully stuck near the initial anchor. That's precisely why the first price a seller mentions in a negotiation has such a profound impact. It effectively frames the entire negotiation process. Your brain then works around that initial number, adjusting upwards or downwards, rather than independently assessing the true underlying value of the item. The anchoring bias affects not just everyday consumers but also highly trained professionals like doctors, seasoned investors, and experienced project managers alike, influencing their decisions in subtle yet significant ways. And here's the crucial point. It's not necessarily about a lack of intelligence or expertise. Even the most knowledgeable and experienced experts are susceptible to falling prey to the anchoring bias. Therefore, the first and most important step towards gaining control over this bias is simply acknowledging its existence and understanding its potential influence. By understanding the mechanics of how anchoring works, you're already taking a significant step towards loosening its grip on your decision-making processes. Become aware, consciously notice the presence of the anchor, identify the initial piece of information that might be unduly influencing your judgment, and you'll begin to regain control over your thought processes and make more rational, objective decisions. Now let's delve deeper and explore how scientific research has rigorously proven and quantified the powerful effects of this anchoring bias. How do we know anchoring is real? Experiments at top universities proved it. At MIT, students bid on items after writing down the last 2 digits of their social security number. Those with higher numbers bid more, even though the number was random. The anchor pulled their perception of value up or down. At Harvard, real estate agents valued a house after seeing different asking prices. Agents who saw a higher price gave higher estimates, even though they insisted they weren't influenced. Expertise didn't protect them from anchoring. These studies show that no one is immune. The first number you see can shape your judgment, even if you know it's irrelevant. Anchoring is a predictable part of decision-making. Let's see how it shapes your everyday shopping. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this content so far, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It really helps the channel grow, and you'll never miss an upload. Also, if you're finding this information valuable, give the video a thumbs up to help more people discover it. Now let's get back to our topic. Ever been browsing through a store and spotted a jacket, maybe a stylish leather one with a price tag that screams $500, only to see it marked down to $250? It catches your eye, doesn't it? That original price, that seemingly exorbitant $500, is what we call the anchor. It's a psychological trick used to influence your perception of value. Instead of truly evaluating the jacket's quality and whether it's worth $250, your brain fixates on the perceived discount. You're thinking about the $250 you're saving, not the actual value you're receiving. Restaurants are masters of this anchoring technique too. They might list a ridiculously expensive $95 steak on the menu, not because they expect many people to order it, but to make the $35 pasta dish seem like a steal in comparison. The presence of that high-priced item isn't about selling that specific product. It's about subtly shifting your perception of value, making everything else around it look like a bargain you can't refuse. Remember, the first price you encounter is often a carefully crafted marketing strategy designed to influence your purchasing decisions, and not necessarily a reflection of the item's true worth. So, the next time you're faced with a seemingly incredible discount, take a moment and ask yourself, is this item at its final price genuinely worth it to me, based on my needs and budget? This simple shift in thinking empowers you to ignore the manipulative power of the anchor and make more rational choices. Make it a habit to practice this awareness every time you go shopping. Actively notice those original prices, the ones that are crossed out or highlighted, and consciously question their validity. Strive to evaluate products based on their inherent qualities, their functionality, and their actual value to you, independent of the anchor price. This small mental adjustment can save you a significant amount of money in the long run, and prevent those feelings of regret after making an impulse purchase. Remember, marketers intentionally set these anchors to influence your perception and drive sales. But now that you're aware of this tactic, you're equipped to spot them and resist their influence. Cultivating this awareness empowers you to become a more discerning and ultimately, a smarter consumer. Now let's take a look at how anchoring manifests itself in cultures where negotiation is deeply ingrained in the buying and selling process. Prepare to immerse yourself in the vibrant atmosphere of a Middle Eastern souk, where the art of haggling reigns supreme. In Middle Eastern markets, haggling is an art, and anchoring is the first move. Sellers start with a high price to set a powerful anchor. Imagine buying a carpet in Marrakesh. The seller says 5,000 dirhams. Even if you know it's high, your counteroffer is influenced. The negotiation dances around that anchor, often ending much higher than the carpet's real value. Skilled negotiators know to ignore the first price or set a new low anchor. Asking questions about quality or origin shifts focus away from price. Bold buyers might counter with a very low offer, trying to reset the anchor. This anchoring game extends to business deals across the region. The first proposal sets the stage for everything that follows. Whoever sets the anchor steers the negotiation. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for success. The lesson: set the anchor, or be ready to challenge it. Anchoring isn't just cultural, it's universal. Let's see how it plays out in your career. In job interviews, what was your previous salary? Is an anchoring trap. Revealing a low number lets the company anchor their offer low, even if their budget is much higher. Instead, deflect. I'm focused on the value I bring and a fair, competitive salary. This keeps the focus on your worth, not your past pay. The first offer in a negotiation often sets the anchor. Do your research and set a high, realistic range when asked about expectations. For example, based on my experience and market rates, I'm seeking $75,000 to $85,000. Now, the negotiation centers around your anchor. Even if they negotiate down, you're likely to get a better offer. Mastering anchoring in salary talks can change your financial future. Next, let's see how AI uses anchors, sometimes against you. Can machines be biased? Absolutely. AI can inherit anchoring bias from human data. If AI is trained on biased salary data, it may anchor future recommendations unfairly. AI also uses anchoring to influence you. Think of Amazon's list prices or Netflix's 98% match. These numbers are anchors, nudging your choices. We trust AI to be objective, but it's only as fair as its data and programming. If AI is trained on biased decisions, it automates those biases at scale. But we can design AI to recognize and correct for anchoring. For example, negotiation AIs could ignore the first offer and suggest fair values. AI can even alert you when anchoring tactics are in play. The future depends on teaching AI to be wise, not just smart. Now let's learn how you can break free from anchors in your own life. How do you protect yourself from anchoring bias? Awareness is the first step. When you hear a number, pause. Don't react right away. This pause gives you space to think before the anchor takes hold. Next, seek out alternative information. Research prices, values, or benchmarks from multiple sources. The more reference points you have, the weaker the anchor's pull. Try considering the opposite. Challenge the anchor by imagining why it could be wrong. Ask, what if the real value is much lower or higher? This mental exercise helps you break free from the initial number. In negotiations, try to set the anchor yourself, based on solid research. Make your first offer ambitious but realistic. Framing the conversation puts you in control. These steps, pausing, researching, challenging, and anchoring, help you make better choices. Practice them, and you'll start to see anchors everywhere. Let's look at what the future holds. We've explored how anchoring bias shapes decisions everywhere from courtrooms to shopping carts. Now you have the tools to spot and resist these invisible influences. This isn't just a life hack, it's a path to greater mental freedom. Anchors are everywhere, but you can manage them wisely. The goal isn't to eliminate them, but to know when they help or hurt you. Every important decision, ask, what's the anchor here? Is it influencing me? Perfect rationality may be impossible, but self-awareness is powerful. The more you question your first impressions, the more control you gain. What will you do differently now that you see the anchors? The choice is yours. Become the architect of your own mind. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Hit the like button if this was helpful and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Have questions or suggestions for future videos? Drop them in the comments below. See you in the next one.